You're at 109 right now.
Hey everybody. All right, I have to look at you all. Let's see. The microphone is a little funky. All right, everybody. I hope I am your favorite travel enthusiastic guide. All right. I love talking about traveling and I love traveling myself. So I'm going to talk about traveling right now with you all. I found this advertisement. No, this article. Excuse me. Brain fart. I found this article today as I was scrolling through my phone. This is from CNBC Make It. It says the number one destination to live and work abroad, according to expats. I live in America now, but at one time in my life, I was an expat. Let's see, from 2007 until 2019. So for 12 years, I was an expat. Um, I still travel, however, and I'm looking forward to traveling very, very soon. All right. And I want to reminisce. I want to go take a walk down memory lane with you all, if you don't mind. So let's take a look at this article here. It says the number one destination to live and work abroad according to expats. All right. So first, it starts with a lovely photograph here of a young lady in some country, sort of like a Spanish cathedral back here. And within the first three words, it says expats in Mexico or Mexico. So perhaps this photograph was taken in Mexico. Expats in Mexico are some of the happiest in the world, according to a new report from Internations. That's interesting. I'm a member of Internations. I have an Internations account. Haven't looked at it in years. Internations is like a Facebook, but for international travelers. So if you go to a location, a city, and you want to reach out to people, then you use Internations to find people who are in the same region, city, all of that good stuff. And it can help. It can help with meeting people. Matter of fact, I might need to tap Internations for my upcoming trips and travels to, tap some local expats or whomever, or travelers like myself. All right, so it continues. Let's see. Internations, the global community for people who live and work abroad. Okay, Mexico ranks number one as the top destination for expats, with 90% of people saying they're happy with their lives abroad in the country compared to 72% globally. All right, since we're talking about Mexico, I will post some pictures of my travel from Mexico at this time and, talk about it a little bit and maybe share some memories. I went to Frida Kahlo's Blue House while I was in Mexico. I went to Xochimilco and Xochimilco. Yes, there's a story I learned about. I watched on YouTube recently. There's a particular lizard, a salamander, I believe, that lives in areas like Xochimilco and other parts of Mexico, and they're actually dying. Due to the changes in climate changes, as well as the habitat, humanity changing it. Not habitat for humanity, but yes, their habitat is changing due to humanity. Um, yeah, so I went to the Blue House. I went to Xochimilco. I was in Mexico City, and I keep forgetting. Is it Teotihuacan? I think it's Teotihuacan that I visited because I always get that city confused with Tecnoctitlan and Tegucigalpa, right? I'm like, which one is it? I really don't remember. So Tecnoctitlan is a little difficult to pronounce, but it's and then Tegucigalpa is that in Honduras, and then so where did I go? Tecnoctitlan. Um, See, I even forgot the name of where I visited in Mexico. Anyhow, took a picture there at the Sun and Moon pyramids and enjoyed myself immensely. The one thing I will say about Mexico is that when I traveled there, I had um, my perception of Mexico changed a lot because in America there's a lot of political, I guess mudslinging, And there's a lot, even like Donald Trump, when Donald Trump was saying that he was like talking about Mexicans coming over the border. I mean, and that them being rapists and all this other type of stuff. I mean, there's just some negative publicity in America that's targeted toward, Latinos, specifically Mexicans. And it's so sad and so confusing because once you get to Mexico and you discover, oh, this place is beautiful, and you discover so many Americans, white Americans especially, are there enjoying themselves. It's like, I thought you guys hated this place. What? I don't understand. Mexico is beautiful, and so yeah, I can't say much more. I can't say enough. I can't, it's beautiful. So anyway, yeah, living in Mexico, there are so many cities to travel to and to live in Mexico that it's like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, Mexico is a beautiful country, and there it is. All right, so that's number one on their list. Here are the top 10 destinations for expats to live and work abroad. So Mexico is number one. Number two is Spain. All right. And I visited Madrid, Barcelona, Granada, Ronda, Malaga. What is it? I forgot. It's Tangiers, Tarifa. Tarifa. All right. I went from Tarifa to Tangiers, Morocco. Yeah. Anyhow, Spain. What can I say about Spain? I loved Spain, especially Granada. Granada treated me very well. And Granada is the city where Ernest Hemingway once said, if you have to visit any city in Spain, make sure that it is Granada. And so even Ernest Hemingway, attests to the fact of Granada's beauty, elegance, and just, overall satisfaction for the traveler. So seriously consider Granada if you were to travel to Spain. When I was in Spain, I went to Madrid. I lived in Madrid for about 2 weeks where I enrolled in a Spanish class there. I visited the Prado Museum, and I went to the local park, which was near the school where I was studying Spanish, and I had a interesting time. Me encanta la cultura España, en España y también en México y en otros lugares donde viven español hablantes. Y pues sí, muy pronto mis viajes va a ser o va a estar en países donde viven español hablantes. Okay. All right. See, I'm trying to practice and use my Spanish. So here we go. Moving on. Número tres is Panama. Okay. I've been to Panama, and it was a beautiful experience. I was there for a short time, probably like 1 week. Had a great time there, just seeing the sights. I did not go to the Panama Canal, however. I stayed local in the city. I stayed at a local hostel that catered to American, what is it, Peace Corps volunteers. So I was among, pretty good company. They had some interesting stories about their times in Panama. And yeah, Panama was great. Now, as far as the money, like, okay, I'll let you in on a little secret. My future travels I'll take very soon will include Panama. From my recollection, Panama was a little expensive. I don't know. When I go back to Panama, I'll check it out and see how expensive it is. But from what I recall, yeah, it was a little expensive. All right. Next, okay. The reason why I chose to make this video and talk about these countries is because 9 of the 10 or out of the 10, there are 9 countries that I visited. All right.
You're at 109 right now.
Out of the 10 countries, 9 of them I've visited. And number 4, Malaysia is the only country I haven't visited. So I can't speak for Malaysia, all right? So we're just going to skip Malaysia, move on to Taiwan. I'm going to show some pictures of my travels to Taiwan. I remember I got a foot fungus or something. I got off the plane, and within a few hours of walking around Taipei, my right foot, my pinky toe on my right foot, between my pinky toe and the toe next to it, I don't know, it became inflamed, and it was very uncomfortable for me to walk around Taipei. So I hailed a taxi and I went to a local hospital for expats, where they treated me. They told me what I needed to do to get some ointment. They gave me whatever, and I just had to take it easy. And then what was so interesting is I flew into Taipei without a reservation. I didn't know where I was going to stay. There's so many options, so it was just like, all right, I'm gonna go without any reservations. So once my foot started to, within hours of arriving, once my foot started to cause issues for me, I had to address that. I had to focus on my foot before I could focus on anything else, food or, you name it. And so when I got to the hospital, hotel, hostel, hospital. That's what I'm trying to say. When I got to the hospital, the doctors already had particular hotels that they would send their patients to recuperate. And so I was in luck. They said, "Look, why don't you choose from one of the many hotels that we, have for our patients?" So I was one of their patients, and um, it was interesting because one of the hotels, or the hotel that I chose, that was affiliated with that hospital, was already the hotel that I was considering, making a reservation at before even arriving to Taipei. It's a very popular hotel in Taipei, and so I think I might have gotten a discount from the hospital because of my foot. So everything worked out. Oh, and then one little sweet spot. Um, because my foot was causing me trouble in Taiwan, I had to buy a pair of sandals to sort of air out my foot because my foot was closed. It was covered. The my foot was hot and sweaty, as you can imagine. So I had to buy my very first pair of sandals. My very first pair of sandals in my life. I'm from LA. We don't rock sandals. I don't. That's not my style. It's not how I get down, or at least that was me in the past. I didn't wear sandals. You know, or a lot of people, if they wore sandals, they would wear socks with the sandals. Like, I just didn't wear sandals at all. But after that experience in Taiwan, in Taipei, I had to buy some sandals. And the pair of sandals that spoke to me, the ones that said buy this pair, they were like Rasta Jamaican style. They were green, gold, and red, or red, gold, and green. So I bought those shoes, and I was like, I felt a lot better. Um, but I hesitated. I hesitated about buying them because they had, green, yellow, and gold. Because I thought, oh man, people are gonna think I'm a Rasta, or people are thinking that I smoke marijuana. I actually had that thought. So I hesitated, but then I went ahead, and I'm glad I did. They were a lovely pair of sandals that I got from the company like Sandals or something like that. Yeah. But as far as Taipei and Taiwan, man, I went to Kaohsiung, I went to Taipei, I went to Taipei 101. I didn't go to the top of Taipei 101 and look out, but I physically went into Taipei 101. So what can I say? Those were some of my experiences. I didn't find it, too expensive at that time, and I didn't have that much money either. I had a friend I met there, and she hosted me, showed me different places. Oh, the food was amazing in Taiwan. From the mango and rice to the, what is it, oyster omelets to the beef noodle soup and even the stinky tofu. And then I remember having the most delicious bunch of sweet potato fries. And then there were oysters in the night market. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was all that. All right, moving right along to Thailand. Um, Thailand, I stayed about a week and a half, maybe a week and a half in Thailand. Um, Everything was wonderful there. I can't say, much about Thailand. I can't say enough about Thailand. Um, I remember, hey, I bought this shirt in Thailand. Yeah, I bought a number of these shirts. I bought a shirt with Che Guevara. I bought a shirt with Bob Marley. I bought a shirt with Frida Kahlo. The Frida Kahlo T-shirt I bought for my sister. All right. So, and I bought that. I bought these shirts at this one boutique, this one little shop at the local mall. You know that famous mall everyone goes to in near Sukhumvit in Thailand. That's where I went, and I liked these T-shirts so much that when I got back to America, I contacted the shop owner. She's a young girl, and I was like, "Hey, I want some more of your T-shirts. Can you ship them to me?" She was like, "No problem." But I contacted her during COVID, and so there was a little. I had to wait longer. There was a situation with shipments out of Thailand at that time, but things worked out, and I got these shirts, which I love. All right, Thailand was awesome, but I stayed in Thailand maybe a week, and then I left and I went to Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Yep, 4 countries, right? Yeah, Thailand, Singapore, yeah. Now, one little piece of advice. I remember when I went to Thailand, when I arrived initially, I stood in line with all the other foreigners, and I did not know that there was an entrance for U.S. passport holders. So I spent about an hour waiting with the Asians, the Indians, the Chinese, and all of the other people, the Filipino. I didn't have to do that. I had an American passport. All I had to do. So once I got to the front of the line, they were like, "American passport? No, you go over there." And I was like, "Huh? What?" So I got out of the line. I did kind of the walk of shame, and then I got to the American line, and there literally was no line. It was just like, "Come on in." Man, that was pretty cool. Cut to Costa Rica. I stayed in the jungle of Costa Rica for 3 weeks. Had a beautiful time. Costa Rica surprised me um, because we went to a local square and I saw the statue of Juan Santa Maria, and you could visibly tell he was African in the statue. And I thought, oh, but Costa Rica is a white country. You see all these like white Latinos, and then you see the statue of this African, and you're like, huh? But I loved it at the same time. I'm like, man, this is awesome. So Costa Rica is very cool, very cool. They wanted to present themselves as a white nation, but the truth of the matter is there are black populations in Limon, Costa Rica, and the contribution of their African roots is strong. It's muy fuerte, you know. So that's what I would say about that. The Philippines. In 2015, I really started to travel. I traveled to so many countries that year, and in the Philippines is one of those countries I traveled to, and I had an amazing time. I went and I visited the Batak people in the mountains of the Philippines on the island of Palawan, and that was just, amazing. I had an awesome time. Uh, I was in on the island of Luzon, and then I took a bus, a long bus, maybe a 6-hour bus to Angeles City. You know, as a man, single man at the time, I went to Angeles City. I hung out there, and then I was like, I'm not gonna spend all my time in Angeles City. Oh, and Justin told me my boy Justin was in the Philippines at the same time. He said, if you're in the Philippines, you gotta go to El Nido. So I said, all right. He said, I have to go. So I figured out how to get there, and I flew to Palawan, and I took another 5-hour shuttle to El Nido, and I made it. And I had a beautiful time. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful time. The beaches of El Nido are the most beautiful in the world. Just like this list says, the number one destination to live and work abroad. El Nido was ranked like El Nido beaches were voted like the best in the world. And I'm able to say that I swam there, that I kayaked even from one island to the other. I mean, I snorkeled. I did so many things in El Nido. Hands down, beautiful, wonderful place. All right. Next, I'm a little confused, a little perturbed by number 9 because it says Bahrain is one of the best destinations. The 10 destinations for expats to live and work abroad. The reason why I'm confused about why Bahrain is in this list is because Bahrain is an expensive country. It's not cheap, okay? So, and then on top of that, if you're an expat and you want to drink alcohol, you want to eat some pork, you want to smoke cigars, you want to do these things that, Muslims do not do, well, you're kind of out of luck because around 2000 and was it 2018, they instituted a sin tax, SIN, a sin tax, okay? And if you wanted to drink alcohol, your $3 bottle of beer would now cost you like $12. If you wanted to smoke cigarettes, a $5 pack of cigarettes now would cost you, like $15. Pork, all of these things. It was a sin tax that was instituted, implemented, and I can't imagine Bahrain being a good fit for expats, especially if you're British. The British, I mean, the English in England, there are a lot of drunks, a lot of drunkards. Ireland too. I mean, sorry, it's kind of what the public perception is about, right? All right, and then finally number 10. We just finished number 9, Bahrain. Now on to number 10.
You're at 109 right now.
Portugal. Portugal is beautiful, and Portugal is really affordable. From the experience that I had, as well as what I've heard from other travelers, and there's also that family. Our Rich Journey, I believe, is the name of their YouTube channel and Instagram page. They moved from America to Portugal, bought homes, bought rental property, like they're living their American dream in Portugal. And I say that's the way to go. They're doing it the right way. So kudos to them. And with regard to my story in Portugal, um, WASP. That's the one thing I'll remember from Portugal. So I traveled to Faro, which is in the Algarve. It's far. It's like the southernmost area in Portugal. And while I was in the city of Fargo, I noticed that there was a graffiti artist who wrote on everything, everywhere. Like you'd go outside and you see the name WASP, WASP, written all over the walls. Then you'd slide into a restaurant and then you go to the restroom, and as you're at the urinal, WASP has written his name, at the urinal so you can see it. It was like everywhere that you went, this WASP character had hit up the whole place. Now, I made a video about WASP, um, a few years ago, and that video has been, it constantly gets viewed because people who travel to Faro, I guess they have the same experience that I do. They wonder, who is this WASP character? They go to Google, they do a search, and then they find my video about WASP. So that video has consistently gotten views. It's not like they're in the millions. No, it's only got like 300 views, but people are looking for information like why? What is this WASP character and stuff like that. Those are my stories about the 10 destinations for expats to live and work abroad, okay? And to finish up, let's see. In Mexico, I visited Mexico for 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. That's it. But I was able to get a tour in and have a wonderful time. Spain, I lived in Spain for about 1 month, if I'm not mistaken. Panama, about 1 week. Never been to Malaysia. Taiwan, probably about 5 days, 6 nights, 5 days, something like that. Thailand, a week and a half, I think. Costa Rica, 3 weeks in the jungle. The Philippines, 1 month. In the Philippines, I did 2 weeks on Luzon Island and then 2 weeks on Palawan Island. Bahrain, well, I never lived in Bahrain, but I lived in Saudi Arabia, and in order to enjoy that lifestyle I had of living in Saudi Arabia, I had to make weekly trips, weekend trips, getaways to Bahrain. So you could say for 2 years I lived in Bahrain. You could say that. Wouldn't be technically correct, but whatever. Portugal, probably 1 week. Yeah. All right. So I hope you enjoyed listening to my stories and checking out my videos and pictures. Okay. All right. Peace and blessings. Have a blessed day. I'm out.
You're at 109 right now.